knocked off my. I'm just going to deal with this guy and also talk about what I'd like to see from a sequel. This isn't speculation, because, all I can say as far as what I think they will do is that they're definitely going to set it on Yokohama. One thing which is on the wish list, which I guess I think they will do, or more correctly won't do, is I don't think they're going to cross it over with Yakuza 7 in some sort of aggressive way, and thank fuck for that, if you ask me. You know, it's not a dislike of 7. Well, I have mixed feelings on 7, but it's nothing to do with dislike of 7's story or cast. I'd just sooner see them not do any stupid, like, Mandalorian Season 2 bullshit. The more self-contained they can keep their stories, the better, as far as I'm concerned. And they've never shown much interest in making their stories into, like, multi-game arcs or anything. So, yes, thank God, I think they will make another good self-contained detective story. So that would be wish number 1, and that will be the wish I think they will definitely grant me. As far as other stuff, well, first of all, is, getting into more combat just to finish these guys off. Can I point out a cool little detail? Yagami cannot pick up guns, unlike Kiryu. You see that gun down there? He won't pick it up. That's something which kind of defines Yagami as different. Like, he doesn't kill people. No, Kiryu doesn't kill people. Yes, he does kill people. He doesn't murder people. That's the difference. Kiryu will fucking shoot you in the stomach off a building, but he won't kill an unarmed guy who's not threatening him. That's kind of a thing. Like, Yagami just will not pick up knives or guns in this game. It's a pretty neat detail to sort of differentiate him. Shall I go back to... I just want to finish these guys off so I can go back to my wish list. I guess being on low health does at least mean I can do all these, or this move. I can only do this when we're on low health. I'll try and not get into any more fights so I can finish off, I'm pretty good at this game, but plus... Oh, okay. Okay, so here's unlikely to happen wish number 1. You notice this guy here? Like, for a lot, one unique thing Judgment has over a lot of the other Yakuza games, I think it makes the city feel a lot more alive, because you will run into, like, random characters from side quests just walking about the streets. It's not Shenmue level detail, but it's a cool thing. Like, this guy here is someone I've met. They just say, hey. It doesn't really do anything, but it's a neat detail. Same for a lot of the enemies. Like, a lot of the enemies you'll encounter will just pop up at other times, even if they're not, like, quest relevant. You will find the exact same thug who always pulls out a baseball bat in, like, a yellow shirt all over the place, and he has the same name. It's not them reusing a model. That's like a cool detail, but I think it'd be neat to see him go farther with it and maybe make it so the whole sort of world had... I guess maybe having some sort of time system or something would be cool to run with the whole detective thing. You know, like having Yakuza has always had a weird sense of time. Like, when you think of it, some of the games take place over a couple of days, but will have characters like going from nothing to running half a city or something. I think I wouldn't say go full Shenmue and have like days and weeks and stuff, but having an actual time scale with which mood where you could kind of different people be at different places would kind of run around with a whole cool detective theme. And also, I want to talk about a puzzle, because there's a puzzle in this game which I wish there was more of. You see, at one point I got a photo and I'm told, like, oh, this guy is I think it's a skill, has just, it's just eaten an onion ring, I've got to locate them. So I figured out I can go into the shops on my phone and check the menu of each shop. And that's like a cool or very Shenmue-esque thing you can do to figure out a puzzle. It's very logical. It's not at all like novelty driven. It's it's sort of this weird thing where it doesn't feel like you've entered a separate area to the rest of the game to solve a puzzle. It's just something that was always there and you could always do. Now, what I would like to see Judgment 2 do is, right now there is no icon telling me where to go on the map, but that's because I've beaten the whole campaign and nearly all the side content. So I would like them to just not have a icon to show you where to go, and maybe not even make it clear what quests were and are not mandatory to continue the story. Not to a point where it's horribly convoluted and you just have to beat so many side quests before the next story mission comes out, but maybe to the point where it's not really clear what will get you further in the main investigation and what won't. You know, once again, something to make it feel less like the standard open world thing where you have a big pink glowy icon on the map telling you where to go. You know, it can fit with the whole detective theme, and like I said, giving characters an actual time scale would kind of be cool, just because it would once again fit into that. Like if you were doing various side quests, all of which seem potentially related to the main story, and you're actually ticking off red herrings. Of course, I wouldn't want it to go full on like multiple quests you can miss because of the wrong time or stuff like that. I don't know, actually I wouldn't mind that, so long as they let you do them in like the Platinum New Game once you've finished it. But yeah, having something where it actually felt more like you were a detective and you actually had to go through and sort of figure stuff out, keep a case file which wasn't just main case and side case, but would clearly, yeah, I'm doing that probably quick enough hopefully not to spoil things. You can always go and pause it if you want some spoilers. You know, make it actually feel more like you're having to, you know, think your way through things a bit. In terms of what are some other things? Well, one thing I'd like to see is Yagami is designed to be a hell of a lot more athletic than Kiryu, and they do actually have that as a minor gameplay element. Like you can leap over some things. Like, let's see if I can run up this car, and the answer is no, I cannot. As I think I should be able to, because I can run over a lot of other stuff. And I am not going to help that guy because I've helped him so many times. Sorry dude, you're on your own. Yeah, it's I think actually making the athletics feel more like something which you could use all the time would be neat. Like you can climb on some cars, not others, stuff like that. Like you can kind of run up buildings in combat, but I sort of feel there would be a potential to make the world feel a lot more sort of explorable. Like it does feel, it's not terrible with its invisible walls, but it would be neat if you're going to give me the ability to wall run. Like, I don't know, give me some reasons to do it outside of combat. Yeah, I actually don't have a ton I'm thinking of right now. I guess another thing I'm going to say is I don't know if I really think they should bring back like multiple characters again. It's this dude. You know how many times I've beaten up this dude? I don't think going for a Stumble cast would necessarily be a good move. I think other playable characters might be, but I don't think. You know, I'd like to see them keep that that detective theme. So while I wouldn't be against multiple characters, I don't think they should. I don't think they should have, you know, do something like Yakuza 0 or Yakuza 4 or 5. Maybe have something where you could work in a team with other people or something. Like you could maybe play as multiple characters, but they would all be, you know, working together, so you'd switch between them for different quests. Something like that I think would work a lot better. Again, I don't think going a Stumble cast with different factions who don't interact would be something I'd like to see. Okay. let's talk about something gameplay related. Because one neat thing Judgment does have over other Yakuza games, I mean, Sega definitely don't want to consider it a Yakuza game. They don't list it among it. They treat it like a separate franchise. I remember people thought they generally had fully cancelled the series because... Oh, and I'm dead. Because they didn't show it in a stream with all the other games in the series. And I was like, dude, they've always tried to insist this is a new IP. And you can point out how it's basically is full of reused Yakuza assets, but they do regard it as a separate IP. One neat thing this does, which a lot of other Yakuza stuff doesn't, is that lots of different game types are included in the main game. Now, you can complain about how much you think the stealth bits are shit or whatever, but I do think that is a cool thing Judgment has. Like in, say, Yakuza 6, which I absolutely love, but it is this interesting thing in Yakuza 6 where basically the whole main campaign, apart from 1 or 2 points, is entirely a brawler. Like, you don't get like, what are other gameplay elements, like those big, those big battles, the undersea stuff, the baseball, dating hostesses, chat clubs, all that stuff. It's all optional. It's all about... In fact, even in side quests, it's usually dedicated to specific side quests, which are very clearly shown to be, okay, these are baseball side quests, these are giant battle side quests, that sort of thing. I think Judgment, it was kind of neat that you would actually use, like, the drone wasn't this separate thing. You never used outside of a specific selection of drone quests. Like, you still use the drone a lot in the story. Same for stealth. You still use stealth a lot. You still did these puzzle bits where you have to look about and figure out some sort of puzzle to continue. And I think they should go even further with that and keep adding and try and just improve those gameplay elements and keep adding to them, and also make a lot of them not optional. So, for example, the drone, you can get the drone and you can pull it out at various points, but it feels very separate. Like, you can actually equip this thing with weapons, but you can only use them. It's a side quest dedicated thing. Same for drone racing. And I sort of think, continue with what you started with the first thing and just merge every gameplay idea into one non-optional big game. Like, there's no reason you couldn't end up having to shoot down stuff with the drone. Points. Hell, if you gotta bring back hostess clubs, which they may, how about you actually have hostess clubs where you actually have to go to sort of, pick up details on your investigation. Just make as much of it feel like part of what... I guess that's my whole idea of what I'd like to see them do, is make it feel less... If Yakuza can feel like a beat-em-up with tons of optional mini-games, maybe make this feel more like a game with a lot of different styles. Costumes are something I think were really underused in this, because costumes are neat, but they basically act like adventure game items. Like, you have a couple of points where you have to use them, and if you have them you can proceed, and if not you can't. And other than that, they're pretty much useless. Like, there's always this clear point where it's like, well, I guess you should use the disguise now to continue. And why not actually have costumes be something you can use whenever? Would have, like, here's the thing, I get why Sega doesn't do it, because that makes cutscenes awkward. You don't want to have certain high quality cutscenes where, because you haven't prepared an animation for every costume, the character's hands clip through something, or they clip into their jacket or something like that. But the answer would be, like, in the first cutscene in this game, they show Yagami kind of, or like the shirtless fights in Yakuza, where the character just removes their shirt, coat, everything, gloves if they have them, all at once in a single swoop. They do that with costumes. They already do it once. Like, there's no reason you can, like, suspension of disbelief, have have a character have Yagami switch out of his costume instantaneously whenever you want to do a cutscene and you need to ensure that it doesn't look goofy because of her outfit he's wearing. Now, as far as combat goes, they probably won't do this, but you know, Like a Dragon's gone full RPG. I would like them to decrease the RPG stuff. I'm not against buying new skills, but I think I would like it if, at least if they're going to, you know, maybe make it to something you can do on lower difficulties or whatever. But I wouldn't mind the game just having one health, one attack, you know, maybe one combo speed even. Like, I mean, combo speed I want it high because that makes it fun to play. But, you know, if you can always balance a game, it's a big issue I actually have with this whole leveling system. A lot of it is just stuff to make everything easier. Like, you can make it so you have more time in certain missions by it. So, yeah, slightly increase your time, decrease the effect of wind, all this stuff, which a lot of it just makes the game less interesting. I think Judgment, you know, it has a lot of low difficulty options you can turn on to make the game easier, ignoring all the, you know, buyable upgrades, which you end up just buying because you need something to spend your XP on. And, you know, at a point the game is expecting you to have a certain amount of damage or health. If they did I would like to see them actually make a hard setting for people who want to make a harder game. Like I said, turning off quest markers, making it so you actually have to figure out more of the stuff. And also, as far as combat goes, you've already got this option to... oh, why did I spend my money on that? Why did I use that? I should have left it, so I don't need it now. But, yeah, having... There's actually a pretty interesting joke in the game where one of the bosses will steal your mobile phone, which means you can just activate food. I sort of think if you're gonna having some sort of Souls-like system, like no, don't complain to me about you said it should be like Dark Souls. I just mean having an option where maybe if you're going to have the cat to be able to equip food items, have them actually have to like eat it or something. Once again, you know, you don't have to do it on every setting. You know, accessibility settings all over the place as far as I can care. It's like just make sure the actual, you know, I can actually play a hard version, I guess. And oh, I guess the final thing I'd say is tone. Yes, I would like to see it continue to go more dark. Yakuza 4 yeah, was kind of when the series kind of went fully, you know, goofy, I guess. I mean, you can argue 3 was when it started to feel sick on me, and 2 was when it hit you with some really over-the-top moments, although they weren't that much of a game. If you played the remaster, you've probably seen far more goofy stuff than was in that original. But, yeah, I feel like Judgment compared to Like a Dragon felt way darker, and I'd like to see them continue in that direction. That's not to say don't have any humour in there, you know, do, but... you know, maybe make it less of a distinct slash between, you know, serious main story, comedy side quests. Like, still having humour, you know, good and all. But I would like to see them, once again, continue to distinctly make this not what Yakuza currently is. Like, if Yakuza wants to continue down the, you know, with a goofy sort of comedy game which actually has some darker, more serious moments... you know, I'd quite like to see Judgment go, well, we're a darker, more gritty, you know, crime drama, which has some comedic moments, you know, inverse it. So that's about it. I mean, this wasn't really edited. This isn't meant to be edited or anything. This is just me vaguely talking about what I'd like to see them do with another Judgment. So, list of things. 1, make costumes actually something fun to use. Like, you have all these disguises and then they're useless outside of like 2% of the game, where they're just used like very generic puzzle game items. You select it, you use it, and then it's, you know, maybe you wear it for 2 minutes and then it's off. You know, there's cool things you could do with them. You could change how it could work into some more sort of natural, out of some more natural puzzles as opposed to Ultra Pacific puzzles, where it clearly says, like, well, you need a disguise, what am I going to have to do? Or I need a disguise which might say, get me into a building as an employee. I wonder what that could be. Well, maybe the janitor or work costume. You know, something where it wouldn't be so bloody obvious. That'd be cool if they did something with disguises. Layer back the RPG stuff. I don't mind unlocking new skills and things, but I would like it if there weren't skills which would just make the game easier, give me more time, make it so wind doesn't affect my drone. Like, I like challenge, and it's always annoying when they have stuff you buy which just removes an element of the game. Yep, story, keep it dark, make it darker. I think that'd be neat. I want that. I don't care if people think they want comedy. I think there's enough. There'd be enough in it. Even if they decide they're gonna make it gritty as fuck, there'll still be enough funny moments, I think. But I would, if I hear they're saying we want to go darker, then I'm happy for them. Don't force it into a long-running storyline with crossovers and stuff, because they won't do it, but for some reason people think that would be a good idea. But fortunately, I don't think they'll do that. And maybe stop making the game structured like every other open world game, and actually have to, you know, think about where you go to solve the next puzzle. And to do that, maybe make the world more alive. Like, you already have foes which will just reappear, random side quest characters walking about the city. Maybe go full on and actually have a system where you can, a sort of Majora's Mask system or something. You know, don't go full Shenmue, because I don't expect that, and I don't think they'd want to do that, but it would be neat to actually have a world which felt somewhat more simulated, I guess, as opposed to the very sort of rigid JRPG sort of structure goes for. And yeah, that's about it. I think that's my Judgment sequel requests. If they're gonna do multiple characters, do something different with that. Please don't do another Yakuza 0 or 5 where you just switch. Like, it'd be neat to have you play as a team or something, like have one guy, you know, like, they've already got athletic stuff in here. Having a character who could actually, you know, climb between buildings or stuff, they already have. Like, Judgment 1 pretty much ended with him having a full-blown team of, you know, more than just him and his ex-Yakuza buddy. You had different characters, different novelties, and I think the ensemble cast stuff works well in Like a Dragon in a way it didn't in all the others. And having if they're gonna have multiple playable characters, having them actually be part of a team would be an interesting take. And yeah, obviously not be turn-based, because I don't like that. But yeah, I think that's all I got to say. Bye.